Well, I just spent about 15, 20 minutes talking to my camera, which wasn't even turned on. And that's one of the problems when you're an older musician. That's a different way of you not being able to keep time. So anyway, I'm doing This Is Amazing Grace, and I listened to it and was kind of doing some improvising. I really haven't gotten too far, but let's start it over. And I'm using a kind of an overdrive with medium gain. I'm using my bridge pickup, gives it a little bit more harmonics. This is the digital distortion I have. Line 6 effects. If I clean that up, and I go to my other distortion, I got this one to choose from too. But I'm going to use the other overdrive, and if I need to make myself louder, like if I have a prominent part to bring out, I will click that other pedal and that'll bring my volume up, kind of a boost, and give it a little bit more distortion too. A little bit more sustain in the notes as well. And so I'm going to start with this sound. Start the song. bass and the keyboard. so basically this is in the key of G, and I think of my guitar a lot in these modal fingerings that I have from the key of G. So I've got a G major chord, that's one, and I've got a G major scale. Okay, that's the one chord. The two chord is the A minor chord, and that's that chord. So I have the same notes that I just played arranged differently in this section of the guitar, which corresponds to the second chord tone of the key that I'm in. So I can remember that this is a minor scale. So this is going to be a Dorian mode that I'm playing in. So I have an A minor, which is the second from G, and I play from A to A. It's a Dorian. So it's a minor scale. So I've got my minor scale right here, my major scale right here, and I've also got another minor scale, the Phrygian scale, which is the third one up. Got a flat second. And then up the scale, I've got the Lydian, which is the 4 major. It's got a sharp 4. And I've got the mixed Lydian. And I've got the E Aeolian, E minor. And it repeats after that. I've got the Locrian. My action's a little bit too low. I can't, some of those notes aren't coming out. Anyway, so that's how I kind of work this guitar. So I'm in the key of G, and I'm going to play a lot of my stuff in this area of the guitar because I've got a lot of room to go from there. As a bass, I can go down low to create some other mood. I can go up high to create some other mood or color or shape that I want imagining in my mind for this offering or giving, creating something beautiful. So I want to play in this area. I also want to have this open because these sounds different. Then it does sound up higher. You don't have those open strings you can do that kind of stuff with. And then up the higher part of the guitar is you've got all kinds of stuff you can do. A lot of melodic, a lot of high stuff that kind of circling in the sanctuary. Beautiful things you can do there too. And anyway, so let's start the song. I'm going to try to stay within the B Phrygian area and occasionally go up into this Aeolian area, which I'm familiar with the fingerings. And because of the way the arrangement of the notes are different from what I'm playing in the E Aeolian than I am playing in the B Phrygian, it's going to have a different sound. The Phrygian sounds more complex, sounds more classical. The E sounds more blues or rock, and you can make that into more of a pentatonic option than you can with the Phrygian. And that pentatonic flavor is what gives it that rock sound that people kind of expect to hear, because they expect to hear the notes in that scale. So when you play those notes, that relates to them as that rock style. And okay, so let's start over again. Oh, it went to the next key. Sorry about that. I was playing it, but I was in the wrong key for the music. So when I went to the bridge, I didn't know what I was doing. So let's go back to the other recording, which is in G.
Of sin and
Okay, do it again. Make sure they're recording on both. Got one. I have a Royalist Tri-Tube preamp, but I really like. It's got 3 tubes in it. It's got one for the power amp stage simulation, and it's left and right stereo. It's got 2 channels, like 2 separate reverbs. I've got a bass, middle treble control, 3 IRs per channel, so that's 6 IRs I can have at my fingertips at any one time. Plus I got my HSFX, which has IRs in it as well, and I can just bypass that and do that. I like this pedal board setup that I have. I like to have all of my effects, like delays and stuff like that, to be easy to program, and I can do this with my computer, my laptop, and I can really tweak it the way I like it, which I like messing with anyway. So so I'm going to play it again. I'm going to try to play stuff that I'm going to try to get closer to what I would actually want to play when we're playing this for the congregation. So let me start over, make sure it's in the right key. Some of the things I can do there. chiming going on. the same notes, but it's just the way that I guess you approach them makes it sound different. I don't know, it might be my imagination. But, okay, so we didn't write any more notes down, so I'll do that later.